Hello, everyone.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi
We did
Justin.
a little bit longer of an intro. 3 minutes always feels very fast when you're staring at a timer the entire time. So, um, we gave some time for folks to join, and we know folks will join along the way because that's just how live streams work. But if you're listening to this after the fact, the people in the future who are hearing this as a podcast episode, welcome to you as well.
Welcome.
I see we already have Justin, the
This is-
bestest brother. He's on time.
Yeah,
Look at
actually.
that.
What's
Look
up with
at that. Welcome, Justin. Yeah, so unlike normal, where this is sort of a just live episode where we chit chat and hang out and have fun, this is actually a live show. If you read the title right and whatnot, and if you read the title right in the future as well, you'll see this isn't just a reposting of a live stream, just any live stream. This is episode 99 of the main show.
Yes, it is.
And
We're
it's
almost
live.
at 100. What's up with that?
Yeah, I mean, if I had half a mind, I guess I would have waited and done this for the next episode when it was actually 100. But you know what?
Who cares? We'll be fine.
Who cares? Well, the patrons probably. I was going to say we don't answer to anyone, but we actually do because we have patrons. But anyway, and we're grateful to them. Their money goes to supporting this madness. So if you have any complaints, take it up with them. But anyway, yes, this is a live episode of the main show because we wanted to talk about the latest Star Wars thing to come out, being Star Wars Visions.
Yeah.
And so hopefully everyone who is either going to join us live or who has listened to this after the fact has seen Star Wars Visions because, I mean, the whole hour is going to be basically spent spoiling it.
Pretty
we're going to talk about all of it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about what we loved about it, what we think. I don't know. I don't think anything could have been done better, honestly, because I loved it.
I mean, I have a couple, but it's not anything. It's nothing like, oh, this was horrible, and this is why this was a bad idea. It's more just notes of preference, than anything, which is bound to happen with something as stylistic as anime. And so, it's going to be a lot of just how much we like everything. I was asked to rank it, and I did. It was very difficult. Mostly because there's only 9 episodes, and I started with a 10 scale, and so I had to redo everything when I realized that I had one free space. I had a free space, yeah.
I feel like you could.
The free space is for the fans.
Yeah, the free space is always for
you
the
guys
homies.
Are always my favorite.
Exactly.
But no, yeah, and then I mean before that though, there was a development in the galaxy that severely traumatized Meg, apparently.
Not in this galaxy. It was in the Super Mario Galaxy.
Yes.
Aha. Yeah, I am. Are you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a reference. Look it up.
It is.
Not Star Wars Galaxies.
Star Wars.
Super Mario Galaxy. Look it up.
There's secret code in the shines.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I've been very vocal about the fact that I am a fan of the Super Mario Brothers movie, the 1993 classic. I believe is 1993. I think so.
Probably.
Yeah, I unironically love that movie so much.
Mm-hmm.
We rented it from Blockbuster all the time.
I mean, and just a quick note, and then I'll let you get on with it.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You and the people listening, you don't have to justify your favorite things. No. By the way,
oh gosh,
you don't have to make it make sense for someone else if you like something. Just like yeah, because that's one of your favorite movies.
I just
love just like your stuff.
Exactly. I feel like I am the Island of Misfit Movies lover.
Right.
So much.
I would agree to that. But yeah, you every time you mention it, you always kind of slip into like justifying it, and I don't think you got to do that.
It's a great movie, all right.
No. I mean justifying why you like it.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I guess is part of just being like, I like it. I want someone else to like it, but also it's just like it's a defense mechanism of I know this is gonna get grief,
Yeah.
But
which honestly we sometimes do with the sequel trilogy. Yeah, I couldn't remember what the movies were called for a second because I have ADHD. Yeah.
But anyway, just like what you like.
Just like what you like.
So you like that movie?
I like that movie. I like the casting of that movie. Controversial, one might say.
Better than what we got.
What's more controversial?
I'll give it that. I'll give the old film that. It did better.
It cast Italians.
No,
is what I'll say.
I will say yes. This is an animated movie,
but still,
it's very, very silly.
Okay,
the choices they made.
we got freaking Chris Pratt as Mario, which was the first thing that I saw, and I was like, "What?"
Of course, that's what everybody wanted to talk about.
Pardon me.
We have. I don't remember the whole list. I know. Yeah, it's. Jack Black is Bowser.
I'm pumped for that. I think he's going to be great.
I think.
We have an
a little
Italian
too spicy
in the chat.
for me, Jax. I'm just kidding. I like spicy. Whereas I want to be happy that Jack Black is Bowser. It's a good casting overall. He's a really cool voice actor.
Absolutely.
At the same time, I'm also like, there's already a voice. There's already voices for all of these characters.
Charles Martinet has been Mario for 25
the entire
years.
Time, right? The entire time? Yeah.
He first started in Mario 64.
That's the biggest thing.
Wait,
it's just that they decided, yes, there have been voices for these characters for years, but we're going to ignore that for household names. Yeah. I just think that's silly. I mean, speaking of Star Wars Visions, they could have easily done the same thing. We could get just generic voice actors. And by generic, I mean people that do this for a living, but they did a great work and a great job casting a variety of casts that were also authentic. And for the one person that is an actual, well, no, technically for the two people that are actual characters, Boba Fett and Battle Droids, they got Tamora Morrison and Matthew Wood. So it's just, they respect the heritage. So it's just like, it's not like they got Obi-Wan and then just cast, Jack Black. Like, no.
I would love to see Jack Black as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I want to see him do anything in Star Wars.
I want him. He's one of those actors that I'm just like, I want you to be happy, sir. I want you to live a long and fulfilled life.
Right. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't know that I want a Sonic the Hedgehog level revolt that forces change, because I, in part, don't necessarily agree with that in what happened.
No.
I don't know. I just I don't
think it should be a release the Snyder cut all over again.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think we need to revolt because of it, but I feel your pain in this one, even not being a huge Mario fan. I mean, I feel that's bad to the animators because they're doing the most work.
You got a point.
No offense to voice acting, but I just mean that you go in for a few hours and you've done a movie's worth of dialogue, right?
Yeah.
Whereas animating, you probably get 5 minutes in 3 days, depending. Yeah. So I don't know. It's conflicting. I think it was a choice they thought would be good marketing.
Yeah.
That turned out not to be.
Support the creators. Don't support the nonsense. Yes, he could be Guy. He could be Guy so good.
He could be Guy's daddy. I feel like, because I liked both voice actors for Guy as well.
I think they were great. And also, can we get some better bassist representation, please? We're not all slugs.
I could hear the bass.
Yeah.
Well, I see.
Oh, it was great.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Gotcha. He was the coolest one, though, arguably.
Like it's either an unattractive man or Sid Vicious, who is an unattractive man. That is the representation for.
Well, in general, if you're not the one guy in the lead, most people don't pay attention to you. It's a shame, but it is the way it is.
It is a shame. It's a darn shame.
But yes, get Jack Black into Star Wars is the compromise to this conversation and the segue into Star Wars.
Okay.
Because I feel like we could talk anything. That's usually What's up, Jesse? That's usually why we do these live streams and do it very disconnected, is because we can chat and we enjoy just chatting.
We like having fun.
For sure. And so, and as a quick note before we move on to Star Wars, speaking of live streams, but real quick, let's check this comment. Justin said, fair play to the voice actor that did the English version. I didn't see the dubbed version yet.
Yes.
I thought both were great. I have nothing negative to say about either. I know there's always this big anime war about sub or dub. I think both can be fine. I think Dragon Ball Z is that way for me. Yeah. I enjoy both.
Oh, Dragon Ball Z, definitely. I didn't like the dub for Inuyasha.
Oh my gosh, what are you talking? That's some of my favorite.
I was annoyed by Kagome.
Were you annoyed by Kagome or were you annoyed by Kagome? Oh my gosh. People talk about Finn being like, Ray, all the time, but don't talk to me until you've seen Inuyasha.
Or Akira.
In general, I like to respect both. Because it's one of those things. Growing up a fan of kaiju films, yes, as a child, could I have just read the subtitles? Yes, it wasn't distributed that way, so I kind of, from a young age, was conditioned to respect both sides, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. A lot of '90s kids were steeped in this anime American fusion of. You've got Power Rangers, you've got Godzilla films and stuff like that. You've got Ultraman, all of those things where it's just like it's both, so it's hard for me to separate. So Anyway, so live streaming. Moving forward, if you haven't seen the announcement on our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, first of all, shame on you for not following those. Links in the description. Second of all, we are taking our usual live streaming format, which we've called Nerd Chatter for a while now, because, it's one of those things where if we get together, especially with a lot of our followers, it's going to blend into our fandoms, right? And it usually does. We've also had a series, we talked about this on the last live stream, called Hat Chatter, where we just kind of come up with topics that are less fandom, more us, and chit-chat about that.
Yeah.
We have taken
heartfelt moments.
Yeah, really, really deep moments unexpectedly. And thank you to everybody that supported both of those projects.
Yeah.
Both of those are now having a baby. So Hat Chatter and Nerd Chatter are having a baby. That's going to be called Herd Chatter. That's going to be our weekly live stream moving forward. We enjoy doing this, and we enjoy the content that both Hat Chatter and Nerd Chatter provided. So we want to do both. And that's what's going to happen moving forward. So each week you can expect a live stream from us where we just chat. We could talk about the news about the Mario movie. We could talk about, just general nerd news or general nerd topics, or we could get deep. There's no telling, but we will chat about something, and we invite you in every week for that conversation. So a great reason, if you're not already, whether you're watching this live or listening to it later, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get notifications if you turn it on for when we go live. And you'll also still get another episode throughout the week that's either Nerd Herder Main Show, where we talk all things Star Wars, or Nerdyverse, where we talk about everything not Star Wars.
Yeah.
So change is happening, and we're excited for that. So now the second thing is there will be a link. I failed to do it on the live stream, but if you're listening to this after the fact, you can find it there, or you can head to our Twitter for the link there. We have done a questionnaire. We need your help.
Would you like to take a survey?
Sundays suck.
Do you like Georgia Went?
I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. Sundays suck. The only reason we do live streams on Sundays is because it's the only day during the week that we are both not working.
Yes.
Which is technically not true, because we do in the mornings, but we're off by a reasonable 2:30, 3 o'clock. So it was the only available time. If Sunday is the only available time and everybody likes it and it's fine, cool. We'll stick with it. We will do it for you guys and the Vine.
We'll do it for them.
The questionnaire exists to find out your opinion on, is there a better day, better time, any of that. So please just give your opinion. We can't appease everyone, but we can definitely take everyone into consideration, which is the goal. So
just to cover reference.
Check that out on either our Twitter page for our live people, or check it out in the description below for our dead people, aka the people listening to the podcast after the fact. I think it's time to put up the like, comment, survive. It's 20 minutes in, and we're finally going to get into the point. Just quickly, what is this?
Do you like George Wendt movie?
No.
Do you like
who is
movie
that?
With George Wendt eating baby?
I don't know. No, what is this?
Would you like to take a survey?
This is a family joke, and I feel uncomfortable.
Lady, go down the hole.
Yeah. Okay. You asked me to again rank Star Wars Vision episodes, and I did.
Yes, and I did as well.
The point of this, whatever time we do have together, I thought it was going to be an hour. I didn't expect to spend 20 minutes chit-chatting. The nature of the beast, I guess.
You silly boy.
So we will take what time we do have to try and discuss, I guess, each of the episodes. Yeah?
Yeah.
You kind of pilot this a little
bit,
so because you're the internet queen, apparently.
I
don't know. You just win the internet a lot more than I do. and I think that's because
I have supportive friends.
You're way more you than me
on the internet.
Yeah, well, and that's how you get your friends. You're way more you than I am. I'm very subdued.
I apparently attract weirdos
on the internet
and dads for some reason,
which make for a good podcast following, apparently. So there you go.
Yeah. Hop on, Justin.
Well, hopefully we can excite you about the rest, and you can watch it after Justin, who has only watched the first 3. I'm not good at because I'm always thinking about the people that are just listening to this after the fact.
Yeah.
But shut up, I'm not exactly sure. Should I read all the comments every time?
No.
Sometimes
it's just Justin doing this.
I was gonna say between Justin and Jackson, ADHD and just Italian spice. I just don't know what to do with these comments.
That's Jackson's Spice Girl.
Exactly, Italian spice, which is just garlic.
It's oregano.
And a cacophony of green things, yes. All right.
Including
Star Wars visions.
Okay, so let's start off with the pre-prepared questions that are kind of general.
Yes. Just real quick. Justin has summed up our podcast.
Yeah, actually.
It's 90% nonsense.
90% nonsense. The rest of it's, actual content. So, yes. Where do we start? I
just did it in order. Oh, did you put yours out of order?
Yeah. Well, no, I ranked mine as much as I cared to.
So what I did is I put each of the episodes in order and then just ranked them how they fell. So they're not ranked in order because we were watching them in order. So it did better by my brain to do it that way.
Yeah, well, we can
because I didn't know where they were going to fall.
Yeah, what we can do is we can go through and I'll share where it is on my ranking as well.
Okay.
Because I didn't put them in order. I ranked them.
Then we start with the duel.
Yeah.
The first episode.
Which was my number 1.
Really?
Yes.
This is my number 2.
Yeah.
Go ahead and bets in the comments who's my number 1 if you know them. Yeah, the duel. I really liked it. My notes were it's aesthetically one of the best. I really enjoyed, and I think, although I have a comment that contradicts this later on, I think this was the best way to start it in that it is the perfect blend of Star Wars and Japanese lore. Not only just in an anime way, but also in a filmmaking way. I loved the film grain on this, very Akira Kurosawa, which I appreciate wasn't consistent through all of them. I didn't want all of them just to be Akira Kurosawa, Miyazaki. I didn't want just the famous ones recreated. The loud one?
The bold one.
The bold one?
The band one?
The band one. No, try again. I do like that one though.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I thought this was I thought this was a good proof of concept, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the one that was definitely like this is what's going to sell it kind of thing. That
it can work.
Yeah. I absolutely loved the animation style. I forget the name of the company that did it, but they were just absolutely incredible.
Just a blanket statement. All of the animation was great.
Beautiful.
All of the voice acting, English and Japanese, was great. So this is just a general shout out to all of them.
We're just wowed by you.
Yeah, all of them are and were amazing and should do more things, Star Wars and otherwise.
I agree.
Just to save us time each time. I mean, part of me, yes, wants to mention everyone all the time, but at the same time, we don't have all the time.
We do.
Use your own time to read this stuff.
Podcast is forever.
Yes. So Justin brings up a good point. This is also the perfect one to get a follow up or a prequel. I don't know if it's before or after.
Ronan's coming out soon.
And I'm excited because this had really interesting lore and philosophy that was very subtly done. I appreciate that it starts off, which again, Akira Kurosawa, it starts off very Seven Samurai, in that it feels like he and these bandits, or he and these guardians, or whatever they called the bounty hunters, are going to defend the village, and it turns out to be something very different.
Oh yeah, the Doug in the probe droid was probably my favorite character.
I loved the Death Star bot. They really need to rename that.
Yeah.
That it doesn't belong to the Death Star no more than the Force belongs to the Jedi.
Wow.
But the Death Star droid with the Gatling gun was awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go that direction. I appreciate that they pulled the rug out and went for a more interesting. He's not a Jedi. He's not a Sith. He's ambiguous. He's just doing the right thing.
Yeah. How did you feel about the sheath saber?
I like it. I think it works aesthetically. I liked the umbrella saber too. I thought that was very interesting. I appreciate that wasn't her lightsaber. I like that it was an attachment.
The umbrella saber gave me an aneurysm. It was so cool. I was hyped about it before it came out. I love the umbrella saber so much. I want more. Gimme.
So I'm not the only one. Justin also thought of Seven Samurai. I think that's what they were going for. And again, I love that they did a twist with it. So this is, for all of those reasons and more, that's my second favorite.
We love a problematic king.
I think the only thing that's going to make the first one stand out is just the fact that it appeals to personal preference. This one, I think, hands down, is the best one. Because again, I think it was a bit of the pilot. I think this was the one that leaned in to sell the concept. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I think this is the one that got the most attention and work to try and blend both evenly, because everything else definitely leans one way or the other, very Star Wars or very anime.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a bad thing, but I just mean this is the most even, I think. I would like to see saber sheaths more often. I think that was a cool concept.
A lot of people were like, got their panties in a twist about it, but like, whatever. It's Star Wars. It's a space movie.
Well, and I think
for children.
I don't think there was anything ever that felt like in all of them that felt like that wouldn't exist in Star Wars. I feel like Star Wars both is like, it tries to be grounded in a way, but it's also just stylistic. So somebody doing making an attachment for their saber to make it a spinner. Sure.
It's dope. I mean, we have lightsaber whips.
She basically just watched Grievous and was like, I want that. And she did it. Good for her.
Did do it.
So yeah, we could probably talk about one of them, any of them, for a long time. But
we could. We should do a lightsaber episode.
We should.
I thought that the character design in this episode was incredible.
Yes,
it was absolutely beautiful.
The villain, I loved Ronan as well. I liked the stormtroopers and their kit bashed armor. That's what I wanted the Mandalorian stormtroopers to look like. Yes. I understand they were using 501st, and nobody's going to just break their arm. I would break my armor for Star Wars.
I feel like that's going to be a thing at Celebration this year.
I think so. But yeah, I think that's what I would think the remnant stormtroopers would have looked like. So I liked getting to see that for sure.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, so the next one is the band one, or Tatooine Rhapsody. Yeah, I really like this one.
It was my number 9.
Really? Yeah. Dang.
Well, okay. Here's my ranking system. I like all of them.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
I just have I have so much trouble ranking things that I tend to put things that I like all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But which ones do I like the least versus the most?
Yes, that's what ranking should be. Like, we've made it this bipolar of like good or bad. Yeah. And like, it's not like that. It's good, great, and greater. Like,
exactly.
I just don't like modern ranking. Yeah, if you haven't listened to any of our other episodes, that would sound unfamiliar, but that's how we talk about everything Star Wars.
Yeah, we just love stuff.
We love all of it. It's just certain episodes of Clone Wars speak louder than certain episodes of Resistance, and certain films just, resonate more than other ones. Like, it doesn't make any of them bad. Like,
no,
there's no bad Star Wars.
I agree.
Except the Yuzon Vong stuff. That's just for the people that are going to listen later, that actually like that and just think I'm being entirely serious. I'm not.
Never.
Go listen to an episode where we talked about the Yuzon Vong.
I read a Wikipedia article.
It's just not my Star Wars, but at the same time, it's not very Star Wars to begin with. So I feel like it's okay not to like it.
Here's the thing. It's hyper sci-fi.
Yeah, it's Star Trek, dude. It just is. Somebody watched the Borg and was like, what about that but Star Wars?
It's Star Trek. It's Hellraiser. It's also Ghost of Mars.
That very true. Good. So, Tatooine Rhapsody, what for you made it less than the rest for you?
I don't know. I think it was the pacing, maybe? It moved very quickly. I don't know. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I mean, it's not to put you on the spot. I mean, no, I feel like gut react ranking is honest. Mm-hmm. So, but I didn't know if there was anything particular.
No, I had a lot of fun watching it. I think the song, I preferred it in Japanese over English, personally.
I thought both did fine. I would be curious. I know Joseph It's just such a long and unnecessary name. I know Joe is very talented.
Oh, he's very talented.
I believe he did the vocals for the singing and the acting. I
think so.
I don't know. It didn't list a singing voice for him, so I thought he did fine.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. I listened to a lot of English translations of anime openings, so I'm very used to it's the style, but it's not necessarily Japanese. Yeah. And that's literally only so I can understand it. It's not a preference. Again,
it's like Sakura Kiss in Japanese versus English.
Right.
Which, if you have watched or on High School Host Club, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I thought both were fun. I really liked this one. Originally, when I was doing a 1 through 10, this was number 5, just because it's very in the middle. It's very good, but it doesn't do anything crazy.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing I'll say that it did very well, and I appreciate it being the only one to do this, but it featured Star Wars characters. It featured Boba Fett, Jabba the Hutt, you know, very familiar faces.
A very, very cute Bib Fortuna.
Yeah, I love his little shark face. Boy. Yeah, I appreciate. I honestly, part of me wishes they didn't, just so it could be completely disconnected from what we know. But part of me also thought they did it well.
Oh yeah, it was very well done.
I thought it was nice.
It didn't overwhelm the story,
and
it was very well integrated into the story.
Yeah, it fit. It didn't feel like it didn't feel forced. It felt like it made sense. So yeah, I thought it was fine. It was number 6 for me. Going off of a 1 through 9. Bib
is a cute baby, isn't he?
I love him. So there was someone else that stood out to me. I love just their take in general. I'm a big fan of Genndy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars.
Yes.
I love seeing people artistically and stylistically create familiar characters. Like take Obi-Wan Kenobi and make it your style. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Again, we could talk forever about any of them. So.
What's the next one?
The next one is the Twins.
The Twins?
Yeah, this is most of the internet's least favorite.
Twins at least was my number 2.
What you've seen. This was my number 4.
Higher on the list than Bombad Cast.
Suck it.
Scotty hated the Twins.
Really? Wow.
Yes. I felt so bad.
I can understand to a point because this is very shonen anime action. This is very stylized. This is very so. It went very. I made a specific note between this one and the next episode just because they were right next to each other. It was convenient. This went very Star Wars in the story, very anime in the execution of action.
Yes.
And I think that's what people don't like is this one's very action forward. They went for style. They went very Evangelion, Kill la Kill style for this for sure. Mm-hmm. And I love the heck out of that because I like that stuff.
Oh, 100%. It was like watching an episode of G Gundam at some point.
I was gonna say this is very up my alley in terms of anime genre. So I think that that's what puts it a little bit higher. Is the story's simple. The story's really stinking simple. But it's fun. It's just a fun episode. I did like the story though. I thought it was interesting. The whole I don't know. They did the whole thing where it's just like the reactor will work with your suit and the crystal, and then we'll shoot a beam at something. And I was like,
yes,
that doesn't really make sense to me.
It doesn't have to make sense,
but it's okay because the suits looked cool. I liked the Darth Vader-esque.
I liked when his clothes exploded, like an episode of Food Wars.
I loved that. I loved Kade overall. Him and our duo are 2 of my favorite characters in this. I thought Neil Patrick Harris did a good job with this.
He did too.
The sub was much better. The Japanese voice actor did it better. I didn't think that until listening to the sub.
Yeah.
No fault to Neil Patrick Harris, but yeah, it was just something I found after the fact where I'm just like, oh, okay, that's a little whimsically played up.
Yeah.
I think, and I mean, it's hard when you get a 15-minute episode and you've got like 6 lines. You've got to fill in a lot of gaps.
It's like the sub of Speed Racer versus the dub of Speed Racer.
Justin said, I like the ending. Seems cheesy, but I feel that the ending fit the hope of Star Wars perfectly.
Here's the thing: you're also a brother, so that makes sense for you.
I liked the idea of this one of dealing with you were born for this, but you can choose something else.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just such a Star Wars thing. I love the history too of Sith alchemy and dark science. Like,
yes.
Cool. Anytime we can get that working in a story is fantastic. So yeah, I like the ending for this one. I'm trying to see if I had anything else particularly. Nope. Just a really cool episode.
Yeah, really great. I liked that one. I liked how like hyper cheesy it was.
Yeah, I mean, it felt very much like Gendy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars in that it just gets right to the action. The point is the choreography and the action. The story is just a vehicle to get to explain why we have action.
Mm-hmm.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Ooh. So, the next one is The Village Bride.
Yay, The Village Bride. That one's really very pretty. Where do I have it on my journey? It's my number 4.
It is my number 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like Star Wars Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you want to praise it first.
I
praise the sun.
Praise the sun.
No, it does not. I'm not gonna be overly negative. No. This one was my Tatooine Rhapsody for you, where it's lesser.
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Mm-hmm. I think the animation was gorgeous. I think the action was very well placed. It didn't overly rely on beat 'em up, I guess.
Yeah, it was very cut and dry.
Also,
no pun intended.
Yeah, it was. We got Hunky Wife, which I'm always a big fan
yeah, random bystander with Hunky Wife.
Yes.
Yeah, I did enjoy this for sure. So in reference to my previous one, so whereas the Twins I felt was very Star Wars in the story, very anime in the action, I felt like The Village Bride was very anime in story and very Star Wars in the action. I felt like it was a reverse, and I think that's for me why this is lesser than, because this is Star Wars visions. Like, it is Star Wars, and I felt like this was the most disconnected from that heritage. Not in a bad way, because I liked the episode.
Yeah.
Everything about it felt like the pilot for the next big anime with Lone Warrior Woman as the lead. I think that's great. It's just, it felt like you said, the action was just a tidbit at the end, and I feel like that was the only Star Wars part of this.
Yeah. Loved the lightsaber. Loved her putting her heels into sport mode.
Yeah, like I liked that. I liked that. It felt very much like Ezra using a blaster saber, where it's just like you're using the gift of technology rightly. Yeah, and I mean, it's not necessarily, again, a criticism. I liked it. It's just part of the reason I like anything Star Wars is for how much it leans on very familiar elements. And this one, it felt like it was there in essence, but not as forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we get is a fun episode, but for me, just one that I'm not thinking. So for instance, like with the Twins was one I was like pretty quickly after, I want to rewatch that.
Yeah.
This one, I'm fine rewatching in the beginning to end rewatch, but I'm not going to seek this one out by itself. If that makes sense.
Understandable. And this was a lot of people's favorites. I understand.
I did like the love story.
The love story
shout out to Christopher Sean for showing up as the boyfriend in that one. Anytime he does anything, I'm very happy because he's a cool dude.
He is a cool dude.
Anything else on The Village Bride?
No, not really. I can't remember the name of the deity that they worship.
I don't remember. I did like that concept. Yeah. I did like it that they did work in a little bit of a twist of you're talking about the Force. Yeah. You just call it something different.
I love that. That's one of my favorite things in Star Wars.
That's why I say, well, and I guess if that was a little bit more forward, I mean, you can make the obvious assumption, but I don't think it told you that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm saying something in a way I know somebody's going to be like, no, that's wrong. But it's just how I felt about it, where I felt like Star Wars was in the background for this one. And whereas that is fine, it just means that for me, its rewatchability is lesser.
Understandable.
Because that's part of my ranking system too, is how much do I want to rewatch it. Mm. So the next one is The Ninth Jedi.
The Ninth Jedi.
We're making good time on this.
We are doing our best.
Be sure to pop in and let us know your thoughts and what were your favorite. And even if this is after the fact, you're listening to this on the podcast, you can still hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and do that biz. So the Ninth Jedi.
Thank you, Justin. It's a Coraline sweater. The Ninth Jedi is 7 on my ranking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
I really liked it.
I wasn't going to be that guy. Dang it, I'm sorry.
I
didn't want to be like, oh my gosh, what? Really?
It's time to reiterate the fact that I loved all of them.
Yeah, I know. I didn't mean it that way. I just meant I'm surprised because of the reasons and why I liked this one. I thought we would be.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had one that's the same.
Yeah. I don't think so. Yeah.
Anyway.
We are different people. We have different opinions, and that's good.
So the Ninth Jedi sucked, according to Meg.
They did not. It did not suck. I did not say that one little bit.
All right, but
I liked the Ninth
your thoughts.
Jedi. Well, it's one of those ones where I think it moved a bit too slow.
Really?
For me personally.
See, that's how I felt about The Village Bride more than anything.
Understandable. But yeah, I love it. It's a great episode. It's another one of those. There's an Akira reference in it. Absolutely dope.
Akira-ish, yeah.
Listen, man, when someone skids on a bike, it's an Akira reference.
Anytime somebody does a dash on a motorcycle bike, yes.
It's an Akira reference. Okay, me and Chris Ryan will be in agreement that it is.
Okay. In spirit. She didn't do the pose, though. There's a very specific...
She didn't take a pill. Her arm didn't explode.
It wasn't exactly the right way. I mean, that one episode of South Park was more Akira than I think this one was, but it's fine.
You got a point.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a bit slow.
I mean, it seems like we have the same opinions about different episodes, because, I mean, that's how it was with The Village Bride for me. This one is number 3 for me. It took a really long time to figure out my first 3. I went back and forth a lot. This one ended up at 3, mostly because I love the story and action. The other, so just to reiterate, so the duel was 2.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 featured Star Wars elements that were a little bit stronger and more personal preference. Mm-hmm. So for the second one, the duel, it's that idea of I'm not Sith or Jedi, I'm kind of doing my own thing. I love that philosophy, so that hits a little bit stronger. This one still features a lot of very Star Warsy elements. I love the mood change lightsabers.
Oh yeah,
so dang much.
So cool.
That's literally my favorite thing. My most favorite thing about this episode.
And very cool effects as well.
Yeah.
Very well animated.
I love the storytelling element of that. You know, she gets one and it has no color at first because she's like, oh, it's for a Jedi. It's not meant for me. Like it's reflecting that she hasn't accepted her calling. Then later on, as she's defending someone, as she's doing the right thing, it turns green, and you see that moment she does become a Jedi.
It kind of plays off something that I've always wanted to see, which is, you know, a lightsaber being corrupted in real time.
And I know that undoes stuff like bleeding the crystals and everything. I just believe it's different science. I just think it's different stuff. I think both can perfectly exist. I think it works fine. You can have both. I love that the one conflicted character goes from red to purple. I just love the storytelling of the lightsabers.
Oh yeah,
and
that's the best part.
That is a cool thing, but it's not the most impactful thing. That's again why it ends up at 3, where it's got a really cool story, but overall it's not resonating as deeply. It's just really, really cool.
Oh yeah.
And it ends on a cliffhanger, and I know we're getting Ronin as a connected to the first episode one. I want this one followed up. I want this one more than any of them.
Okay. And that was
one of a sequel.
The questions I was going to ask was, which one do you think
this one hands down, because I love all of the characters, and they managed to do that in 15 minutes where I like Ian's hopefulness. I like that. I like again Keta's journey, that she goes from realizing she is who she wanted to be. She loves and idolizes Jedi, and in reality, she is what she idolizes. She is a guardian of peace and everything.
Or who you choose to be.
Yeah, I love that.
Iron Giant.
I made the note of just like, raise a child on stories of knights and wizards, and they might just become one. Because all throughout this, when her father tells her to go and take the lightsabers, when she's faced with the Jedi hunters, when she's protecting, the main guy, she's making those choices because she believes that's what a Jedi would do.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes until the end for her to realize she's doing that because she is a Jedi too. I love it. I really love it.
And I love that concept so much. Like, you raise a child on morality stories or stories about people that are doing the right thing. They're going to do the right thing.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
That's the way that you raise children up, and the way that they follow is if you start them on good footing with good stories and inspiration, they'll follow through.
We're going to tell our kids' stories about like Sith. And
yeah, right.
You want to be a dragon, Jimmy?
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of our favorite characters are bad guys.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I really like this one, and I don't want this one to necessarily take over, but yeah. And it's very much in reference to a C.S. Lewis quote that I don't have exactly, but that where he talks about that of just like, that's why we tell stories, is that people would believe they can be the hero they read about.
Where's the bathroom, C.S. Lewis?
And that's the whole point of Star Wars.
Jackson's in there,
in general, and that's why Star Wars is for kids. Is the only reason it matters to adults is because it resonated with you as a kid.
Yeah.
Not to say, and there perfectly are people that need something that Star Wars has, and they find that later in life. They watch it as an adult, and they're transported back to that childlike wonder. Absolutely.
I'm one of those people.
In that case, I feel like you're getting something you didn't get as a child. I'm not trying to put Star Wars as this biblical level of resonance. I think that gives Lucasfilm, Star Wars, and George Lucas too much power. I do think, though, they have found a science to telling the kinds of stories that do reach very great moral heights in teaching character and teaching kindness and goodness in people.
Yeah.
And and I think this story wraps that up in a lovely little anime burrito, and it's great.
I would eat an anime burrito in a heartbeat.
So Justin asked, is Ronan a Sith hunter? I don't know. I feel like he's too zen for that. I feel like he believes the Force will lead him to them, and it's like his destiny to subdue evil.
Or he wants to be the strongest, and he's trying to take out the...
I think he's too chill for that. But I would like the idea of a moralistic Sith. I mean, Bane in the original Bane trilogy books came very close to that idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's the irony of it, is that the Sith at one point they were on the cusp of realizing you're kind of right. The Jedi is a little bit corrupt, but you went too far with it. So this could, Ronin and the duel could potentially be a two-punch method of hitting on a story very similar to that of someone that's very much down the middle.
Yeah.
Although I think Ronin leads a little more light than he admits. I think the story is that he was a Jedi. He was disillusioned to them, but he's not bad enough. And that's why I say he's too zen to hunt Sith, because I don't think he's bad enough to be Sith.
I agree.
That makes sense. But he's not good enough to be a Jedi either. A man with no home. Anyway.
Wow. Dark.
No, I mean, just the reality. He doesn't fit in.
Yeah. All right. What's your next?
Justin said, I wonder if he used to be a Jedi, but now hunts Sith and had
there are two wolves inside of you.
There's two wolves, and one is dead.
Dang, son.
Always kill the bad wolf. Never starve it. That is my greatest life advice. You don't want a hungry wolf coming after you. Anyway.
Wow.
All of what I just said about Ronin was conjecture, by the way, but I really think it's heavily hinted he was a Jedi for sure. What his motives are, I think that they want you to buy the book. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
They wanted to get the most interesting character, the book, because they knew you would want more. What's next is TOB1.
This was my number 3.
Really? This was my... Okay, go ahead.
I loved it.
Yeah? I know you would. I love that it's a play on Obi-Wan.
Yes. That was like what tipped it over the edge. I love one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I loved it because of how stylized it was and how cute it was. I love it so much. It was Mega Man. It was Mega Man, but Star Wars.
I think you're
Astro Boy Mega Man.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think you're leaning more Astro Boy. They are very similar.
What made it Mega Man in my brain was the fact that the Doctor is Dr. Light. Perfectly.
You can tell that the kid went more Astro Boy, but that the dad definitely. Well, yeah. I don't know. It's both. It's almost Sonic. I mean,
I want to see someone.
People don't know the Sonic Bible and it shows, but it was very Sonic too.
Sonic could either is God or he could kill God, and I don't know if there's a difference.
Oh gosh, Brian David Gilbert, I hope you're happy in life.
Oh, he's doing great.
This was
playing the hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah, this was my number 9.
Oh,
all the reasons you praise it were less than favorable for me. I specifically wrote that I'd have enjoyed it more if it was less stylized, but then it wouldn't be what it is, and then I wouldn't feel good liking it for what it was. It's cute and fun, but also to its fault for me, it's unique. I recognize that it's just not my style.
I understand that.
There's absolutely nothing bad about this. I just didn't like it.
And that's fair. Like, it's the most that kind of stands out as for kids.
Yeah, and I should say I enjoyed elements, for sure. I love the design, first and foremost. I love just the idea, this Pinocchio-esque, this Robo Jedi boy. I love the idea. I just wasn't a fan of the execution.
It's going back to the idea of, do droids dream
of electric sheep? Yes.
Yes. It's kind of going back to Skippy.
And that's why I say, like, I love the concept, and I wrote the note and I took it away because I was being selfish in it, but I kind of wish it could be more realized, like less anime, but like given a proper Star Wars shot. The reason I didn't keep that note in, and I don't agree with myself on that, is because this is Star Wars. Like,
yeah. This is Star Wars at its very core.
I'm wrong in assuming that because it's not my style, it's not Star Wars. It absolutely hits the story elements. It absolutely fits in. It's just not my style. So
yeah.
I don't know exactly what I mean to say when I say that. I think it's going to take maybe giving it more chances and processing. But overall, I will say I love the heart that is behind the episode.
Absolutely. Like I said, it is 100% for a younger age group. I think you could see very plainly, and that's where my love for it comes from. Is like, it's such a story of looking to the horizon, which is the soul of Star Wars.
Yeah,
it's looking ahead and wanting to be a better version of yourself.
Yeah,
not that Toby is not just already the best.
And it's again that familiar story of choosing to go against your nature or programming in this case, not because it's bad, but just because you feel differently than you were programmed or created. Like, that's a very Star Wars element.
Yeah, absolutely. Knowing that you were meant for something more.
Yeah, so that's why I say it is Star Wars. I can't, and no one should take that away of any of these episodes. If any of them aren't your favorite, it is Star Wars. Every one of them does hit on the elements of it, for sure.
The people that made these episodes of the show understand Star Wars.
Yes.
You cannot tell me that they do not.
And that doesn't mean they deserve a film, by the way. Like, someone can... What I mean, like, people use that all the time. Like, people think that Dave Filoni is the god of Star Wars just because he gets it. And it's like, there's a lot of people that get it. You know how many Star Wars podcasts I listen to that are smarter than us? Like, there's
many.
There's a lot of people that get it. Not everyone that gets it should necessarily make it. I don't, and what I'm not saying is that they don't deserve a film. They deserve much more money and much more projects, for sure. What I mean is, like, I don't want people to start using the good about Star Wars, but everybody's worried about the bad. Everybody's worried about this isn't Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, canon.
But I'm more worried about the people that are like, this should take over. No. This should be what we do from now. Like, no, like, no one thing should dominate. No one genre, style, or anything should dominate Star Wars. Yeah. That's why it can't be contained to film, comic, book, TV, any of that. It's so big, and it's so inspiring. It's so much more than any of that stuff. So.
Shut up, Josh. Should have said more like a Valley Girl.
Huh?
Which one? Which part?
Context, Josh.
He's not listening.
Valley Girl where?
Valley Girl who? It's not canon.
It's not canon.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't know what you're going for, but I don't know. But welcome to the stream.
Hi, Jack.
The next one is The Elder.
The Elder! I loved The Elder. I think it was great Star Wars.
It was.
In general. I saw it very low on a lot of people's rankings.
Really?
But
Shame.
I trust them.
Like.
Okay. Oh. I do say like a lot. I acknowledge
probably talking to me.
Probably. The Elder was number 5 on my list.
This was my number 1.
Wow. Okay. It's right up your alley. Like it
is right next to the hobo.
Right next to
yeah, so
yeah. I absolutely, this is another one where I loved the character design.
Yes.
I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
Good blend of both
absolutely.
worlds.
It was another one of those episodes that felt incredibly Star Wars, where you had an opposition being stopped by the concept of hope.
Yeah.
And hope in the future. And I love that so much.
I knew it was me.
Yeah, it was John. It'd be like that.
I don't think when I speak, so I can't like catch, like just there. I can't catch when that's happening because
it's word soup.
I was gonna say, like, imagine snow. Imagine static in my brain that's being translated to words. I can't think too hard, or it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's fair.
So words like and like pop up a lot in my vocab.
Yeah, it's filler. It's like
it is. It's filler.
Yes.
It's that one episode of Naruto. It's the Garlic Jr. of my language. Anyway, this is
Garlic Jr. is not filler. Garlic Jr. is
this
cool.
is for the few anime fans out there that listen to the show.
Hi, Jackson.
Yes, I'm sorry. We totally got off track there.
I love the design of the Elder. I love how creepy he is.
Yes, and James Hong.
So good.
I wish I could shout out everyone. He was one I was hoping would show up.
The voice in our heads forever.
He's been the Asian bad guy.
And good guy.
And sometimes good guy in almost anything since the 90s.
And Poe's dad.
He's Poe's dad. He's just so many great characters. He was a gang leader in Tango and Cash I watched the other night. And he's just that guy that shows up and you're just like, hey!
He was on Friends on that episode where Jon Favreau was dating Monica and he wanted to I was
getting ready to say, wasn't Jon Favreau on there too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a dumb episode.
Yeah, really good casting.
Yeah.
David Harbour was the English voice actor for Tajin. I liked that. I thought that was cool because I'm a recent convert into the fan of Harbour. I think he's a cool human, and he did fine as Hellboy, and everybody should shut up about it. We're going to talk about Hellboy at some point. Just know that because I have opinions now.
Me too.
And so that's going to be an episode at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe soon.
I love you.
I love the story. Again, it's one of those where because of the blend of everything, I really enjoyed it. It felt like genuinely both Star Wars and anime.
Yeah.
It got along
at the beginning with the kids was great.
Tajin was very much a great character, great addition. He's probably one of my new favorite Jedi. He had very Qui-Gon elements, and I think that's why I'm partial, and that makes this number 1.
Because you're Qui-Gon.
He literally just said a bunch of wisdom, and just in a very cool manner, very cleverly, but just very quickly dispatched the foe. Like, I just love that stuff. He doesn't linger on fancy stuff or good tricks. He just is constantly. He is the embodiment of pushing back darkness. Meanwhile, understanding what really is the light. So just thought it was philosophical.
That's fun. I like that concept so much.
Bobby Perez mentioned, I would love to see a backstory on the Jabba band member in Tatooine Rhapsody. It seems that he would be a great average Joe hero.
Absolutely.
More of any of those cute boys. Well, there was the one female droid, but any of them, I loved them. They were a lot of fun.
They were great.
I definitely want more of Jay and Guy, though, for sure.
100%.
Which I think you're mentioning Jay, or maybe Guy, or maybe any of them. Again, just give us all of it, and we'll all be right. Yeah, that's about it. I just, because it's basically anime Qui-Gon, it worked for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm partial. I know I'm biased. Throw throw Qui-Gon in, it's going to be my favorite.
Oh, absolutely.
The next episode is Lapen Ocho.
Lapen Ocho. I do love a Leppy. Mm-hmm. They are some of my favorite weird aliens in Star Wars. And so seeing a new one instead of Jackson is always a delight in general.
Yeah, I made that note as well because especially in the marketing for this, I fell into the trap of like, of course, we got to appeal to the furries. Because I didn't expect it to actually be a Leppy. I didn't expect it to be a lore thing. I just thought it was a character choice, but it turned out that was a genuine Star Wars species. Yeah, I was like, all right, cool, I'm with it. So yeah, I made specific note of that.
And I think she's just the usual, real cute anime girl. I think she does very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was number 8 on my listing.
This is number 5 for me.
I loved it.
It was great. So let me double check where. Like I said, originally, this is just below Tatooine Rhapsody. I think the reason for that, I think in the rewatch, I made the choice because, again, I had more fun with Tatooine Rhapsody, I think.
Yeah.
This one, I love the story. I love the elements, the design of everything. Again, it's one of those that's not necessarily anything bad. It's just, I liked it, but I'm not rushing to rewatch it, if that makes sense.
That's right.
I enjoyed for sure the very anime-heavy story of that, the betrayal and everything. I loved,
adoption.
And at the end, when it's playing the holo recording of like, we're going to be a real family, and it's just like, okay, it hurt already. You didn't have to do it. It was just, it definitely made some anime choices.
And we also love a large father.
Yeah. Who seems burly but is actually innocent. Yeah, absolutely.
One of my favorite tropes.
It was full of things I enjoyed. I think, again, it's one of those where it's just like, I mean, I'd watch it again. I'm not necessarily, I don't have plans to right now.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's definitely it's very rewatchable.
Also, another point in Tatooine Rhapsody's favor, it's the only episode without a lightsaber duel.
Yeah, there's an attempted one.
There's a lightsaber, but I feel like, I kind of imagined it was going to be a trap of Star Wars visions, because what's more Japanese than the main characters that were inspired by Japanese folklore and culture, Jedi and Sith, right? I knew that was going to be a big mainstay. I would love if they do a season 2 of this to feature more regular characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just, non-force sensitive. I just think that's such an easy Star Wars thing. And I think it's great in all of them. But that's not all there is to Star Wars.
I want to see a Western.
I want to see a Japanese Western take. I just want to see anything that's just got normal people. Right? I don't really have any other major comments on this. I made the note of more weird alien main characters.
Yes, please. I would have loved more. I would have loved more people of color, for one thing. I would also have loved more aliens.
Yeah.
In general.
Well, and I appreciate it. It was a more varied cast than I thought. It wasn't just straight. It's all going to be obviously Asian descent characters. They went all across. I think they hit
great.
every nationality and everything in representation. So I liked that. But yeah, in reference to them featuring a Leppy as the main character, is just like, that's a great choice. Again, I thought it was going to be, we've got to have one who's just basically a furry, but no, it was a great choice, actually, and I appreciate them for making it.
If you don't know what a Leppy is,
Jackson's quieted out on this one, even though this is his time to shine. But it's fine. But it's also nice to have another one. That's the beauty of what Jackson, the actual character, has done, is it's opened the door for more. It's not just one weird bunny man character now. It opens the door for seeing that as a familiar face.
Yeah, and it's been confirmed that Kevin Scott did not kill Jackson.
No, you couldn't.
You couldn't kill Jackson.
He's eternal. The last and next episode is Akakidi.
Akakidi. That is my number 6.
Okay.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think it was very beautifully made. I absolutely loved the sub over the dub. Personally, I think it fit a little bit better.
But the dub had George Takei.
I love George Takei so much.
Right? I loved it.
I absolutely no shade to the voice actors in any of the dubs. I think they were all fantastic. I think they were all well cast.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the time, I found myself enjoying the sub more.
That's fine.
That makes sense?
I don't. I mean, people are going to disagree with me. They made this knowing it was going to be bilingual, so I don't feel like there's a right way to do it.
No, not at all.
The only time I would ever say there's a right way is if it. So, for instance, when we've watched K-horror, Korean horror.
Yes.
You should watch that. And watch the original and watch it in sub. Like, that was meant for that, in my opinion.
Please don't remake Train to Busan.
It wasn't made to be nationally distributed and chained. Like, it's got subtitles. That's it. I don't know. I'm not going to get down this rabbit hole, but
if you can just look up from the subtitles every once in a while, you will see a fantastic set of films.
So I feel like this was intentionally made to be really multilingual, but especially English and Japanese. So I don't feel like there's a right or wrong. It's just personal preference.
Yeah, exactly. I'm usually a subs over dubs person in general.
Yeah, I know. Bobby Perez. Sorry.
That's my
made another comment. It's very Jedi for the Jedi who lived past Order 66 to assimilate into the Empire and do the best they can with what they had. And sometimes that's joining a rock band. Very true. Yeah. You've got, oh my gosh, you've got Cal Kestis, who becomes an engineer, basically a garbage man.
The garbage boy, Cal Kestis.
And you've got Jay, who becomes a singer. I mean, you got to know your gifting, right?
Don't let Connor hear you say garbage man when you're talking about Cal Kestis.
I mean, I said engineer, and then I was like, well, that's a little...
He's a garbage
That's a little elevated for what he actually did. He became a Jedi. Yeah. He was a Jedi in the end, but for a little while there, he was a garbage man. Right?
Yeah.
So...
it's my favorite Star Wars story, Garbage Man.
You're right.
Yeah.
More Cal Kestis, too, while we're at it, though.
This is another one that I absolutely adored. The character design. The animation style was beautiful. Especially of the Sith sister.
Mm-hmm.
The Sithster.
Yes.
I don't remember her name.
I don't either. I liked it.
Yeah.
There's nothing really wrong with it. This one was number 8 for me, so next to last. Unlike TOB1, where it was much because it wasn't my style. This one was. This was it was a good blend of Star Wars and Japanese lore. I think it was just simple, and I think also it just still hasn't sat well with me. And maybe watching it on its own, it'll be different. But it's the last episode, and it ends negatively.
Yeah,
like he kills maybe his love and turns to the dark side, and like it's just very. It's like if episode 3 was the last one. Like
well, it's very much I need to pay the piper. Now you did this for me. It's time for me to pay back.
Mm-hmm. I mean, again, nothing necessarily wrong with it, and again, on its own, it might be fine. I think it's just when you're rewatching beginning to end, and this is the last one. It's just very much like, okay, like in my notes, I said that Tatooine Rhapsody should have either been the first one because it featured familiar Star Wars elements in a very anime theme. I thought that would be the most easy entry point for some people that haven't been a fan of anime. Or at the end, because it's just so disconnected from anything super important. It's not dealing with, many lives in the play. It's not dealing with light and darkness. It's just trying to save a dude from Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would have been a good ending as well.
Touch the Hutt.
Certainly better than Akakidi. Just because, again, it's kind of a bummer to end on. And I think that's part of why right now it's lower on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Despite having a lot I like about it, I don't like it being the last one.
I understand that. I think it was kind of a bit out of place, but I don't know why they did it the way that they did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a bit heavy.
Well, again, I think it is familiar. I mean, it's very much of you think you're doing the right thing by taking power, and turns out that's the wrong thing. He has these visions of someone dying, and it's like, well, I've got to go do something. And it's like, actually, what your visions are saying is, if you do something, this will happen. So it's very Anakin, just without all the galaxy impact. I don't think the galaxy is falling apart because he made the choice to turn to the dark side like Anakin. I just think that it's another play on that story.
Look who showed up finally.
Oh my gosh.
Nicholas.
It's okay. We'll sue
Mr.
YouTube.
Milky.
Someone's reminder didn't go off. It's probably YouTube's fault.
Yeah, it's fine. You're good. We still love you, Nick.
Everybody gets one. Everybody gets one pass.
Only one.
What will happen next time? I don't know. Try not to let there be a next time.
You're gonna find a leppy head in your bed.
Oh gosh. We're gonna go Godfather on you, apparently. Bobby Perez mentioned, because we were talking about Cal Kestis, who I could talk about in an entirely different live stream, but he said it doesn't make sense to have an actor like Cameron Monaghan play him and not for him to show up in future content. Absolutely.
I think he 100% will.
People have the same opinion about like Sam Witwer for Starkiller. I don't agree with that. I don't, as much as I'd like Starkiller to exist, I can play the game whenever I want. Exactly. It's fine.
I just want Sam Witwer to be in stuff more.
But I would definitely love Cal Kestis to show up in Andor or something. I want. Well, really, it's fine. I'd love a Jedi Fallen Order twice or two. Anything, just something.
Jedi Fallen Order twice.
Felt fallen again.
My favorite video game, the Squeakquel.
I got up and then I fell, and then I got up and put on my shoes and then I fell, and it's just. Just a very drunk Cameron Monaghan.
Have you watched any of Gotham?
No.
It's great. I like Gotham.
I purposefully didn't try to find anything. I knew who he was, but I tried not to find anything else to skew my opinion because I wanted to like him, and I do.
I think he does very good in that show. But that's because I'm biased.
Yeah. Bobby Rose mentioned the Toby episode moved me in a way where I've been a kid before, and I was told I wouldn't be able to
do things I dreamed of.
Okay, sorry. I have my glasses and I can't read. I'm an old man. So if Droid wants to be a Jedi, I say go for it. Absolutely. The heart of TOB1 is pure Star Wars for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, it's exactly what I expected. I love Star Wars Vision. I love, even though there's times where it loses me, I can still enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great lesson in that you're not, with something as big as Star Wars, you're not going to like everything immensely. Not everything is going to be the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Right? The best Star Wars.
I agree.
Not everything is going to be The Empire Strikes Back, right? The third best Star Wars.
Not everything is going to be The Last Jedi.
The second best Star Wars. Yeah, we filled out our top 3. Judge us for it if you choose.
Whatever, dude.
No, yeah, like I feel like we expect everything to be 110%, and it's just too much expectation.
Yeah, you are going to get you're going to get what you go in with. If you go in with an attitude of, oh, I'm not going to like this because it's anime, or this is for kids, look at it, you're gonna find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But if you go in with an open mind and like, I might like this, or I'm going to find something that I like about this.
Yeah, like that's my thing. Is like, I understand not liking something, but for someone to just like crap on something is a whole nother level of being a garbage human, because there's no way that you can. And I'm going to say this, and somebody's going to mention a movie that completely contradicts me, but there's no way that you can completely hate something, a movie, a book. Like, I just don't think anything is genuinely that bad.
No.
To turn you into a hater, a toxic person. I think that is you. That is in you. And you choose to be that way because you refuse to find anything good about it or to change anything about yourself.
Yeah. Maybe you're just watching it wrong, Chief. You ever think about that? No.
You pick up the mood change lightsaber, you might be surprised what you find, what color you get. Hopefully none of our followers, I think we have great people following us and in this community, in this herd. And so that's part of why we enjoy these live streams, is getting to hang out and do this. And, we look forward to what herd chatter is going to be. Again, this blending of hat chatter, nerd chatter, where we're going to talk about maybe fandom stuff, maybe life stuff, but we're going to talk about stuff and have fun doing it.
Yeah.
And of course, along the way, talk.
You are the best, Nick.
Talk Star Wars and other things we enjoy as well. That's what's great about this too, is because Star Wars is always so Star Wars. It's hard to
so Star Wars.
It doesn't necessarily hit on your other interests. Anime Star Wars gets to do that because I get to watch an episode and be like, oh man, this is like Evangelion. Oh my gosh, this is like Mega Man. Like, I get to have those moments where I'm like, hey, this makes me like something else more too, because you can like both. Yeah. And so I really appreciate the genre bending that this is doing, and I hope to see more. I don't necessarily want to get, just every kind of version of Star Wars stories we can get. I want to keep the uniqueness of Star Wars stories, and I think Star Wars Vision has done that. I don't think it ever should be milked to the point that we're just doing it to do it.
Don't milk Star Wars.
That shouldn't be any of it.
You may not like what comes out.
But I think if you give the power to passionate creators, you will get something that is pure and good and Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think I like to see...
This show was fresh as a bagel.
Yeah.
I loved it so much.
I'm really proud to see Lucasfilm outsourcing storytelling. We're getting all kinds of... and they've been doing it for the past few canon years with authors as well, of like, you're getting folks from backgrounds in horror, backgrounds in fantasy. You're getting all kinds of... You're not just getting... And I love them, but Karen Traviss, like, who wrote so many Star Wars books, it's ridiculous. And that it's just like, yeah, they're a great sci-fi writer, but there's also other great authors too. Like, maybe give somebody else a chance.
You know what I'd love? I'd love a shout out to Hologram Fun World from the Jedi Prince series.
It's a good series. It's fun.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Triclops, man.
And Trioculus.
Freaking Darth Palpatine's, Darth Sidious's baby child. Yeah. Here's the thing.
We need to get Michael on the show.
In canon and in Legends, dude made a science baby. Live with it. It was always going to happen.
There is nothing.
He was always... His love was always going to find a way.
Test tube love. There's Star Wars has always been weird. That's my assent. That's
there you go.
All that I have to say about that.
So once again, we will be back with weekly. If we don't get any solid help from the questionnaire that you can, if you're watching this live, find on our Twitter page, or if you're watching or listening to this after the fact, you can find in the description below. If we don't get a lot of responses as of next week as to when and at what day and time we should do streams moving forward, we may keep Sunday next week as well. But that is a plea with you to give us your answers. Let us know. We'll take everybody into consideration, even though we won't make everybody happy. But we want to try and find a day that's great for more of the herd to join us, and for Podcast of the Wills, Nick, to be on time. So,
yeah, come on, Nick. Get with it. You're going live in literally like an hour.
We'll retweet it on our Twitter for those that would like to do that now, or you can wait until this episode goes up on YouTube later. Either way, we will be back. Since this was a Star Wars episode, we'll probably be back with Nerdyverse this coming week. Yeah. And again, then our first live stream in the new series of Herd Chatter. Be sure to check all the other links in the description, how you can support us through Patreon or through buying coffee through Expedition Roasters. Shout out to them. Thank you to our patrons. They're awesome in supporting us for what we do. And check out also, there's a new link in our link tree where you can get a Nerd Herder t-shirt. Yeah. Our friend Jesse over at Game Infinite, who is a person and page you should follow if you like game news, content, cosplay, all of that great stuff, and interesting what if articles as well.
Yeah.
Game Infinite on Twitter and Instagram, but they have a store for creators. We manage their Instagram page, Star Wars Infinite, which is of course all things Star Wars. Give us a follow, and because of that, we have a tee on their shop. And so if you want a Nerd Herder tee, if you want some nerd swag, then check out the link in our link tree. That will take you straight to that. Check out the other stuff too. There's a lot of other awesome creators with cool content as well. So,
and one more thing.
Yes.
That I forgot to put in the notes.
Yes.
This Tuesday night. Hi.
Oh,
I'm gonna be live.
She's got to shout out her moonlighting.
I do. I have to shout out my guest.
She's too good for just one podcast.
Boop Visibility Month. I'm going to be on Hyperfocus on the Bombadcast.
Yeet.
Yeah, with my buddy Jerry.
Yeah, we're happy to shout it out. Last time, right after ours, you were hanging out with Broaxium. This next week, you're hanging out with Jerry. Do you know his @handle?
He is at the Canon Junkie.
There you go. Give him a follow.
And
also follow Bombadcast, where he hails from, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Check out all these other awesome creators. We're not trying to gatekeep the herd or fandom. Podcast of the Wills is in the chat. Give them a follow as well. They are both hilarious and insightful on the Twitters.
Love them.
So you hit both ends of the spectrum there.
Yeah, we're going to be going live at 9 p.m. on this Tuesday night. We're going to be talking about... Not we. Me and Jerry.
Hyperfocus.
It's basically
follow Jerry at the Canon Junkie.
Two weirdos having a conversation.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'll probably be eating tacos and drinking Baja Blast in the next room.
Probably.
Which is also a great night. At me if you want to join.
Wow.
Yeah. So with that, thank you guys for joining who came in live. Thank you those who are listening after the fact. And just thank you in general for giving us your time. We appreciate everyone who is a part of the herd, and we look forward to continuing to grow this little weird family we have. No, Nick, we're not the best. Megan is just both the best.
No.
I'm just here.
No.
It's a bye joke. Anyway, bye.